All right. I'm sure we'll have some more trickling in, but we want to go ahead and get started. So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar hosted by Centricon and Two Rivers Marketing. This is the second webinar within a three-part series that will focus on customer retention, building upon prior audience understanding and learnings. Today's focus will highlight the advantages of retaining customers over acquiring new ones, and we'll explore various proactive strategies for retention efforts. So feel free as we go through to add any questions that you might have into the Q&A box. As we go through our presentation today, we'll have some time at the end to take some of those questions live. So you'll be hearing from several panelists in today's talk. We have Amy Chapman, who is not able to be on camera, but you'll hear from her shortly. Amy is on behalf of the Centricon team. Amy has over 30 years of experience in the pest control industry as a part of the Corteva team, introducing the Centricon system to the pest control industry. She has served as a national account manager for Centricon for the past 7 years. You'll also hear from myself, Meredith Nystrom, as well as my colleague, Daniel Barrera, and we represent the Two Rivers marketing team. So before we dive into discussing the benefits around retention, we want to quickly reground with some of the key ideas from our previous webinar. Understanding where your audience spends their time, both online and offline, is crucial for tailoring your marketing efforts to reach them. Knowing where your audience is will help you optimize your resources and ultimately maximize your ROI by focusing your budget on efforts in the most effective channels. It will also help you craft relevant and engaging content by tailoring your message, tone, and format in a way that's most likely to resonate with your audience. And finally, it will also help aid in gaining a competitive advantage by helping identify untapped opportunities. When you deeply understand your target audience's habits, you can identify touch points that your competitors may be overlooking. And we also want to touch back on a couple of ways to empower your customers to purchase your services with the 3 focus areas from our previous webinar. The first we just touched on, but knowing where they're spending their time, both online and offline, what groups they're a part of, where are their communities, where may they value opinions and influences by their peers. The second is making it easy for them to find you, ensuring your touch points of communication are simple and information is not difficult to access or to find. And that last point is making it simple to communicate and quick to schedule your business. I know personally, I am much more likely to give my business to someone if I can get a quick response and make an appointment within the first few minutes of me reaching out. So now I'm going to turn it over to Amy, who's going to break out some of the key benefits of retention.
Thank you, Meredith. Good afternoon, everyone. We want to begin by just sharing that the single greatest benefit of retaining a customer we know is higher profitability through that repeat business. But what I'd like to do is spend just a little time talking about why retention matters. It's not just about the revenue. The revenue is extremely important, but I think there's a bigger story there to share. So as we look at the money aspect with retention, retention really helps with higher profitability. By investing in the customer, we'll notice something surprising again and again. Repeat customers are spending more money with us. Not only are they calling you again, but they're also trusting you for additional work, plus referring you to their friends and family. We all know that happy customers don't shop around, they're loyal. As a result, you'll see your profits rise. We also know that retention helps benefit financially with lower acquisition costs. Retention allows you to manage your business better instead of spending your day chasing new customers. You'll see an impact on your marketing budgets as well. Keeping customers helps you spend less on ads and offering discounts and more on true organic growth because your existing customers are doing that advertising for you. Now, the customer, they're key to the retention story. And retention helps increase that customer's lifetime value to the company. We all know that customers don't spend just once. When you retain them, they're going to stay for years. So they may begin as a pest control customer, but they'll also add ongoing services like mosquito control and Centricon. So the total value of that relationship continues to grow. We know with every touch point that you have, their trust and your company's revenues grow as a result. Customers are also very strong brand advocates and provide referrals. Loyal customers tell their family, their friends, they'll even tell strangers. And we're also seeing that's happening more and more online as well. Word of mouth turns into waves of new business in our industry, and that's the best kind of marketing that money can't buy. We also receive valuable feedback for improvement from our customers. We all know once they become loyal, they're not shy about giving feedback. Sometimes the feedback's a little honest. It can be good, but it can also be bad. And because they care about your company, their insights help you refine your services. It may identify services that you didn't even know customers are looking for. It showcases places that you can go back and help your team improve. And it also helps you improve faster than your competition, leading to greater success. And then finally, customers are so important because they build that loyal community. While they are customers, they also become part of the community, and they're proud of you and support you. And it also helps your team feel very proud that you're supporting as well. We all know that it's not just about a job. When you're really successful with customers, they become part of something that you believe in as well. And then finally, let's not forget that retention helps your team. It really helps create those synergies within your company for success. It doesn't just benefit the sales revenue, it helps bring your whole team together. And I think when we think about retention, we need to recognize that every team member that you have is impacted by this retention story. Your service team knows the customers by name. It's amazing how the customer service reps take such pride in seeing those familiar faces as they set schedules. But everyone, literally from accounting to operations, help fulfill the rhythm of how you run your company based on relationships and not running it on chaos, because your customer retention provides that clarity. So let's take a little bit of a deeper dive and looking at your team. I'm going to touch just quickly on 4 areas. There's many, many more within the company, but these are the 4 from a retention perspective with customers. Sales, we all know it begins with that important sale. Your sales team is so important to build the trust, to have that customer invest in your company for protection. They're also important because they set the expectation of what's going to happen whenever that technician arrives to do the service. Technicians are the face-to-face relationship of your brand and interacting with the customers when they go out to complete the service agreements. I will share that technicians have a huge part in the retention story by providing excellent service, but it must come with a strong communication of what was done and any action steps that they ask the homeowner to take in order to lead to that retention and satisfaction with the customer. Once the service has been completed, the customer service reps play such a critical role. They're truly the voice of your brand, and they provide that wonderful ongoing service once the contract has actually been executed. Something that's unique about the customer service is that they have the ability to connect the technician reports that they bring back into the office to that customer account, and it helps really build and weave that story of partnership so that if you do run into an incident where a customer is unhappy or doesn't feel like they need to renew that service, that customer service representative can tell the story of your partnership. And then finally, with the retention story, it is critical that the customer service representatives are empowered so that they have the ability to quickly and easily save any customer that's wanting to leave your company. And then finally, marketing. We all know that marketing is responsible for setting the expectations of your values externally, as well as sharing what you have. But marketing does such a great job of consistent messaging tying into what's actually occurring in the field that they are the starting point for beginning to build the process of brand loyalty. So let's jump in and talk just a little bit about the importance of retention. Now, as you look at this chart here, it may seem simple at first glance, but what you're seeing here as you look at the chart is really the difference between surviving and thriving as a service company. On the left, you'll see acquisition of new customers. This is where most of us focus time, and yes, it's very important. We must get new customers. But let's be honest, as we think about acquiring a customer versus retaining one, number one, it's very expensive. You're going to spend a lot of money on ads, promotions, and marketing strategies just to attract new customers to your business. It's also very labor intensive. It requires you to pull time and effort from your team with more calls, more quotes, more chasing down that customer. And then finally, it's a slower process of getting that customer because they have to build trust. You have to get them to decide that they do want to work with you and then actually execute the contract. On the right side, you're going to see retention of the current customer. To me, this is really where the gold is. To begin with, there's no extra costs. You've already earned their attention, and now you just need to nurture that relationship. It's a very efficient use of your team. They know the customers. They understand their preferences. Not having that learning curve is so important. And then finally, you get faster results. We all know that loyal customers convert quickly because they already trust you. And to me, that's the big win in the retention story, is that they already trust you. So as we talk more and spend more time together today prioritizing retention, just know that it's not about being efficient. It's about being smart, being strategic, and being very sustainable. Every repeat customer you have is a fan of your brand. They spend more, they refer others. The quicker to say yes and more forgiving they are in case something ever goes wrong. And so I applaud all of you because you've built that relationship, excuse me. Now let's talk. I want to share just a quick Centricon example about the cost of losing a customer. And this is a real life scenario. I went in and pulled out one of our Centricon partners, and they have 3,503 Centricon customers at their company. And in this model that I have built out and want to share, they're currently at 87% retention. So with 87% retention, that means every year they're losing 13% of that customer base. And so if you take 100, which is what we'd love to retain everybody. But if you lose 13% a year, you're roughly going to generate 7.7 years of revenue for a customer, one customer. Assuming a $300 renewal, I know that varies by company, but the average in the industry is about $300 for a Centricon renewal. The value of a customer with an 87% retention rate is $2,310. If you improve by 3% and jump up to 90%, which is where our national average is, you're collecting around 10 years of revenue from that customer. 2% increase, you add 2.5 more years. And then 95%, which is, a wonderful goal and one that we strive for, helping you achieve, is you've basically created a customer for life. You're at 20 years of revenue. And so if you look at the amount of value that it brings, at 87% today, if no retention things change, the customer that I'm showing here will generate about $8 million worth of revenue for the company based on that value, that customer lifetime value you see here. However, with just an 8% improvement with things that we're going to learn more about today, that $8 million revenue generation could actually become a $21 million revenue generator for your company with incremental improvements in retention. And with that, Meredith, I'm going to turn it back over to you to share some of those ways that we can do it.
Absolutely. So knowing your customer is really the foundation of retention, because when you understand them, it helps to uncover what drives their decisions, what frustrates them, what keeps them loyal. And in pest control, knowing your customers means understanding their level of pest knowledge, their risk tolerance, how they define peace of mind. This deeper insight allows you to tailor your services, communication, and follow-ups to meet their expectations, which in turn strengthens loyalty and helps reduce churn. A study by HubSpot found that 93% of customers are more likely to become repeat customers with companies that offer excellent customer service based on their preferences and needs. In service industries, understanding pain points helps you move from a transactional to a relational service, and retention rates can jump by 5 to 10% just by personalizing customer interactions. For pest control, this could mean identifying concerns like pet safety, child exposure, wood damage, and proactively addressing them during service or in-home follow-ups. Pest control customers often engage out of urgency because termites, ants, rodents, those all trigger fast decisions to seek help. But once a problem is solved, many feel that the job is done and will disengage. So to retain them, you need to anticipate this pattern and stay top of mind. Customers expect professional, trustworthy, and results-driven service. When they feel informed and cared for, they're more likely to stay loyal. According to the National Pest Management Association, over 56% of customers reach out to pest control professionals only when they feel that the infestation is severe or unmanageable, meaning many customers are reactive and not proactive. Further research also shows that customer experience is the key driver of loyalty in service industries. A positive experience can increase consumer satisfaction by up to 30% and help, reduce churn by 20%. Pest control is often out of sight, out of mind, so consistent communication such as seasonal tips, inspection reminders, visible proof of prevention is critical to reinforcing value. Now, in 24 into 2025, Two Rivers has partnered with the Centricon team in conjunction with a select group of CSSs on a local marketing program to understand which types of marketing is most effective. And the audience demographics from these campaigns skewed in two categories, first in the 65 plus category, as well as the millennial range, which right now is about 29 to 44 years collectively. And you'll also see on this graph that our audience does skew a little bit more female to male. So we use these audience insights to strategize our messaging and our channel planning ahead of our 2025 launch. And we'll continue to dive into these audience insights for decision-making for the program. And now I'm going to turn it over to Daniel, who's going to be walking through a series of tips and strategies of ways to actively manage retention with your customers.
Thank you, Meredith. So we're going to be talking about some initial strategies on how you are going to be able to build a strong relationship with your customers. Tailoring your communication and services to individual customers' needs creates a sense of connection and also trust for your brand, for your pest control company. From using their name in emails to remembering their past pest issues, personalization transforms your service from generic to memorable experiences. And at the end of the day, build long-term loyalty. It is important to take into consideration that personalization can boost customer satisfaction for up to 20% and increase sales by 10%. Different tools that you can be utilizing your CRM platforms to send out communications like PestPack, MailChimp, or mostly of them offer simple personalization that drive engagements. Like by just including the customer names or their past services or the follow-up information, it is going to be very important. And 80% of those customers are going to be more likely to buy from your personalized brands and from those experiences. Pest control companies using service history and home data to recommend proactive treatments see the increase of retention year over year on the services and also increasing revenue. Another tactic or another strategy that we can talk about is the loyalty programs. These loyalty programs can turn occasional customers into brand advocates, offering value beyond just pest control, including some perks, insider tips, seasonal checkups. These loyalty programs gives customers a reason to stay connected and feel part of a community. It is important to mention that a study from Forbes says that the loyalty programs increase repeated business by 40% and significantly reduce customer turnaround. In localized industries like yours, all the pest control community building amplifies brand recognition. Any activities that are happening around your communities and in your local targets are going to be very important for you and for your customers to keep your brand on mind and keep your brand presence active on those local communities. 77% of the customers always remember a brand when they see activations around their local communities. And this is recent data from a report on 2023. So it is important to keep into consideration these loyalty programs. Now, what are some ideas for those customer loyalty rewards? You can offer some referrals on some renewals, some seasonal offers. You can send out some communication via email, via newsletter, via mail, physical mail, creating some kind of local partnerships with some other businesses. And this is going to be very important. Some of you or most of you have created already some local partnerships with some companies that offer marketing assistance or some other bundles with some other companies. Those are very important, but you need to take those into consideration. What's going to be the value that is going to be added to your brand, to your companies in the pest control industries. And to give you just an example, I just received a couple of days ago a promotion from my bank offering some kind of incentive if I utilize some of the pest control services around my area. So those kind of loyalty programs are going to be very important for you to increase those customer retention. Another point that you need to take into consideration, or you can apply, is offering bundles. It is, we are talking right now about Sentricon specifically, termite control, but you can also bundle your services with other, the termite control services with other services. Offering bundles services with general pest, mosquito control, or any other services, and probably some of the times creating subscription based bundles increases convenience and customer retention. Fewer appointments for your users, one bill or 1 year coverage reduce friction and make customers less likely to cancel the services that you are offering. Bundled services customers are 35% less likely to cancel in a 12-month period. And also the subscription models boost recurrent revenue and reduce turnaround. It is important to also remember those subscriptions renewals around the seasonal, the highest seasonal during your different areas. Like it can be during spring or during summer, depending on the area that you are living in the US, because it can depend on depending on geographically. Another tip, another strategy that you can leverage, it is the utilization of data analytics to make specific decisions. You need to, if you track, if you measure, and you react or act based on customer data, you can predict changes with that. You can improve messaging. You can drive smart marketing. You can, from services frequency to review scores data, all of that can help you to identify some customer behaviors and also increase and save your relationship with your customers. Companies using predictive analytics reduce a turnaround by 20%. Service companies in real time are 23% likely to acquire and retain new customers. And just to give you an example on how you can utilize the data on your favor, is the graphic that we have in this screen. The pest control market size has grown strongly in the recent years. It is expected to grow from 24.71 billion in 2024 to 26.85 billion in 2025. It is an increase, an annual increase of 8.5%. The growth that you see here is the historical period that can be attributed to different factors. It can be attributed to health concerns, agriculture, food supply, urbanization, increase on human population, and also the expansion of hospitality industry and some commercial industry in the urban areas. So there are many factors that you can utilize on your favor to make strategic decisions on how you're going to be utilizing the data, that you are using for your customers, or that you have from your customers to advertise and create marketing and strategic marketing decisions for you and your company. Now, speaking about how you can use data and how can you keep the data on for your pest control companies is the utilization of digital tools. So we have some of those examples. Website, you can utilize the website. If your website is mobile friendly, you're gonna have an advantage on Google searches as well on creating the user experience. And probably you saw on the graphics that Meredith was speaking about the highest percentage of users that are visiting pest control services or are looking for pest control services are female women, but also older generations like the boomers, as we are calling right now. That generation, not necessarily the millennials. Now the boomers, Gen X, are the ones that are looking mostly in different digital devices, on mobile devices, on their computers. So it is important to say and to mention too that in this industry, the pest control industry, more older generations are very engaged with digital platforms and with their website, with your websites. So it is important to mention that. It is keep your websites up to date. Keep also a social media presence very active. Facebook, Instagram. You have any other opportunities like TikTok, generating a specific content on those platforms. It is going to be also very important. It is going to increase credibility and it's going to increase also local presence in your specific markets. So every digital tool is a touch point to remind customers that why they are going to be choosing you and why they should stay also as part of your customers and that part of your customer retention. So 85% of the users, they are not going to return if your website is outdated or you are not offering the services that you are offering like in person or in a call. So this is those are different factors that are going to be also important for your customer retention. And lastly, mobile apps. So if you are up to date with schedule apps, pay with the phone, tap with the phone, those are the specific tactics that you can start implementing, the digital tactics that you can start implementing. And with all of that, you can see your demographics, your target audience, and you can make a specific decisions, marketing decisions based on the digital platforms or digital tools that you're going to have from your website, Google Analytics, for example, or social media analytics. You can decide and say, okay, our users are clicking more on this phone number or are submitting this form on this specific page. Based on that data, it is how you're going to be utilizing utilizing on your favor for marketing strategic decisions. So digital tools are going to be very important for you. Another point that I was mentioning is on the apps. Some of the apps have integrations with your websites or on your digital tools, but also with emails, for example, or with your CRMs or SMS platforms. So it is important to take into consideration that we have 4 effective SMS and email campaigns to post services to provide feedback. It's not only promoting, but also creating feedback. First, send SMS feedback requests almost immediately after services, asking for their experiences, how it was their experience with the service that it was provided. Or also you can send out some emails 1 or 2 days after the services to always ensure that the timing was okay with the customers. Second, it is important, and we already mentioned that, the personalization. If you utilize personalization on your text messages, on your emails, it is going to be also very important for them because they are going to feel value. They're going to feel those touch points are going to be individual, and they're going to create individual experiences that are going to be encouraging to increase the higher response. The third point, it is create and keep consistency and clear call to actions. So for text messages or for emails, if you specifically create a call to action on leave us a feedback, or tell us how was the service. That is going to create also a sense of interaction with your users, with your customers, and it's going to increase also retention and experience with those easy call to actions. And lastly, it is not only asking for feedback, it's not only asking for reviews, but also offering something in return for that. So in your next visit, for example, you are going to receive 10%, just making this out, 10% on your next service because you are giving us a really good feedback. Or in the next service, or if you renew this subscription, you're going to receive 25% if you share on social media, something like that. Some of those incentives are going to be very important to mention on those personalized tactics on email and SMS that you're going to have or you're going to be sending out to your customers. So overall, these are some of the digital retention strategies, but Meredith is going to continue talking about some other strategies that you can also implement.
Thanks, Daniel. This is a fun one, I think. So demonstrating customer appreciation. Small gestures can really make a big impact. So things like personalized thank you notes, anniversary gifts, surprise service perks can show customers that you care, not just when it's time to renew. Gratitude really helps build emotional loyalty. 68% of customers leave a business because they feel unappreciated. So acts of gratitude can increase customer lifetime value and boost word of mouth referrals. And then our last tip is really more focused on your employees because your employees are your brand. Employee retention is another key factor in customer retention as well. Employees are your brand, so make sure that they're equipped with the tools and knowledge to ace customer interactions time and time again. Customer service technicians are the direct embodiment of a brand's commitment to its customers, with their technical expertise and problem-solving skills directly shaping perceptions of reliability and trust. They serve as crucial frontline representatives who not only resolve issues, but also gather invaluable feedback that can fuel continuous brand improvement and customer loyalty. So a couple of things you can do here. First is texting customer pictures of the representative that is going to pre-visit. It's a great way to humanize your brand and help customers feel comfortable before they come for service. And to do this, we would recommend you ensure that all technicians have a professional profile picture wearing your company's branded apparel. And similarly, prepping your tech with Ring doorbell points could be a great way to help prep your techs for a personable transaction with customers before they even step foot in the door. So now I'm going to pass it back to Amy, and she's going to go over some resources for you and how you can take action with some of the tips and strategies that you've learned today.
Thanks, Meredith. All right. So as we round out today, I just want to share the resources that we do have available. And we will share this information, but I want to describe for you what some of the key resources that you see here that are a click away. So Centricon Central is a website that is designed for all things Centricon. And within that website that you can go to, it's not password protected. It gives you an opportunity to look at training resources, marketing resources, equipment resources, business growth ideas, as well as the ability to go to our order center for components. Centricon Customer Care is a wonderful tool that we have available now as well. Predominantly, that is to be used for questions or issues that you're having related to your software that you use to manage your Centricon business. Centricon University, we used to do an in-person class, but we have now moved that to an online platform many years ago. Great way for a new person or maybe someone that works in the company that wants to refresh their information about Centricon. There is an online course that you can take that does have a quiz at the end. I will share in some states, Oklahoma, Louisiana, South Carolina, this is something that regulatory will ask for those certifications and tests, proving that any employee you have that works with Centricon has taken Centricon University. And then finally, we have the Centricon Literature Ordering Portal, where we do have available Centricon literature that you can order as well. And we'll give you those links. I also want to share the awesome team that we have with the Centricon business. And these are the folks that can help you with any of the things we've discussed today or any of your other Centricon needs. These are our 2 district sales leaders that support the territory managers in the field. I will share Marcy Downing as the Southern District leader, and she covers from North Carolina down to Florida and then over to Louisiana as her team. And then Danielle Harden is coast to coast because she literally has the rest of the country, including Hawaii. And so these are the 2 district sales leaders. I want to share with you a map. We have had some folks that have retired. We also have some new territory managers that have joined our group that we're excited to have. But as you look at this map, see where you are. We're going to share with you the number that correlates to your territory manager in case you have someone new or you don't have the contact information. We want to make sure everybody on the call does have that. So if there's something that you've learned today, other ways that we can help support you in the success of your business with Centricon, please reach out to those territory managers. Like I said, we have got an amazing, amazing team. It's an honor to work with them. So we have T, Victoria Tyler, Ben, Jordan, and Bill, Keith, and Michael. They represent territories 1 through 8 that you saw on the previous. We'll leave it here for a second, just in case you need to take a screenshot. Then we have Samantha, Jared, Derek, Hoyt, Donna, and Ben, Sophia, and Hader. And then finally, to round out our amazing team is Brandon, Matt, Nikki, Eric, Roman, and Juan. And all of them are available. Give them a call, shoot them a text, email them. They're available to help. And with that, thank you again for joining us today and investing the time. I wanted to share just a quick thought before I turn it back over to Meredith, is that acquiring new customers to me is like filling a bucket. But if there's a hole in the bottom of the bucket, we're just pouring money, time, and energy down the drain. Retention really plugs that hole, and it helps you build momentum, and it helps your company build a legacy. But most of all, I think it builds a company that people don't just hire once and they stick with for years after years. So thank you again for your passion about retention. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it with us. Please know that we at Corteva are extremely passionate about retention as well. And we know it's not easy, but we also know that it's worth it. Our team looks forward to working with you. And with that, I will give it back to you, Meredith.
Thanks, Amy. So we do have some time for any questions, which I think the ones in the Q&A box look like they've been answered, but does anybody have any other questions they want to share while we have this group together? Just giving it a minute to see if anything comes through, but looks like we're all set. So I'll wrap us up here and just say another thank you for everyone that joined today. Like I mentioned at the top of the call, this is our 2nd installment. So our 3rd installment will be in September. So plan to look out for another invite in a couple of weeks when we round out the series. But thank you all for joining and have a great rest of your day.